Awesome. All right. Hey, guys. Welcome to Monday, November 5th's Firestarter Call. And we are fortunate to have Beth Hoffmann joining us tonight. I'm super excited about this because if you guys were paying attention at all to last week's morning paper, her name was like on fire in bold, exclamation points, all that good stuff. And I'm really excited for you guys to hear from her because I've gotten to know Beth a little bit over the time that she's been a part of this team, and she is probably one of the more consistent people in our network, and continues to show up for everything. Is a total team player, pushes herself, loves the challenges, and then I think she's got a pretty good thing going right now as far as how she's using these challenge groups to continue to grow her business. So I'm really excited for you guys to get to hear from her. I also want to make sure that I just make a really quick plug. I know you guys have been pushing really hard. We had that like 3 weeks to diamonds, the whole thing, and that was like incredible. And I've got one last favor to ask from all of you, and that is just that we finish the race that we have begun, and we give it everything that we've got here for these final 3 weeks. So we, just so for everybody that understands the way that qualifications work, anytime that we want to do any sort of rank advancements, we need at least 6 weeks of holding a certain rank in order to qualify for it. Now, if you hit Emerald right away, you become Emerald. If you hit Diamond, you become Diamond. But our team doesn't advance without holding it for 6 weeks. And so for those of you who have been pushing, for those of you who are trying to hit some sort of certain year-end goal, and if you don't have a year-end goal, I'd encourage you to find one and create one. Push hard here for these final 3 weeks, because I promise you the actions that you're doing today are going to have a benefit to your business 6, 8, 12 weeks from now, right? But if we're not doing anything right now, by the time that December rolls around, by the time January rolls around, we can't just flip a switch with this business and turn it on and hope that people magically show up. Sometimes we get lucky with that when we first open up our business centers, but anybody who's been around long enough will tell you that that consistent action, showing up day in, day out, putting in the work, having the conversation, sending the invites, setting goals, falling a little bit short of those goals, resetting their goals, are going to be the ones that are really going to be set up for success in 2019. And I know I keep saying it, but guys, with this Transform 20, it's just going to be so huge. The fact that you're going to have a 20-minute workout, and like I got to stop joking around about it. But I mean, it's Shaun T, but like, it's Shaun T. Like, this is a guy who has an international presence, and we really have not had a program like this launch in a while. Like, 80 Day Obsession's pretty big in the domestic US, but Shaun T is big internationally. So we should be getting excited about that, but we have got to keep pushing here until the finish line. And then I promise I will lay up on you guys through the month of December. I promise. All right. So 3 more weeks. That's all I ask. And let's finish with some big goals and some great momentum as we head into 2019. So enough about me. You guys are not here to listen to me talk tonight. You guys are here to listen to Beth. And Beth, thank you so much for joining us. Oh, no. Try again. Oh, there we go. Awesome.
Perfect.
Now I hear you. Hey, now, how are you tonight?
I'm fabulous. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, let's kind of get this started. Why don't you tell everybody a little bit about you, how you found your way into coaching, and then one thing that Amber thought would be kind of fun to hear is maybe just also share a little bit about your decision to become a diamond coach, because as she said to me, she goes, "Diamond's a decision." I was like, oh, okay. She's like, ask her how she made the decision. So I want to ask, how did you make that decision? So tell us a little bit about you, your journey, and then when you decided to become a diamond.
All right. Well, first of all, thank you for letting me talk to you guys tonight, because this is kind of a humbling experience for me. I have to say that about a year ago, I just started my business about a year and a month ago, October of last year. And I remember sitting and watching like one of the very first team calls, probably around this time last year, and being just kind of in awe and overwhelmed. But one of the thoughts that I remember saying, and I even wrote it down, was, how do I get there? How do I get on that call? How do I talk on this call? And so it was actually one of the big goals of mine. And so it is kind of a full circle thing for me to be talking here tonight. And I'm really nervous and super humbled to be here. But so like I said, I started about a year ago. I decided, it took forever for me to commit to being a coach. And I was on again, off again, doing Beachbody for years. And then finally my good friend said, come do this challenge group with me. And I was just, I'm not a social media person. I'm not really on Facebook a lot. I don't do challenge groups. I'm not, super into that kind of thing, but I did it because my friend was doing it, and, I can't miss out on anything that anybody else does. So she convinced me to do it, and I got in, and I still was pretty resistant to continue, kind of jump all in and go all in right away. Even drinking Shakeology, I was getting it elsewhere, and I was just really kind of doing some sketchy things and not wanting to commit fully. But I just found myself in a part of my life, or at a moment in my life, where I like to call it kind of comfortably numb. And I wasn't consistently happy with myself. And I also I didn't feel like I was going anywhere. I was sitting there comfortable, but I was numb about it all, because I wasn't unhappy, but I wasn't really happy either. And so I knew that something had to change. I knew that I needed to change my internal self and my external self. And I was trying to do that, but I just kind of kept feeling this pull to do this. And my coach, Emily, reached out to me a couple times and was like, I really, you could just be a discount coach. You could do this. And then when I do things, I like to make the decision of doing it, and then I just go all in. And so that's kind of where my mindset was when I decided to become a coach. I was like, screw the discount. I'm just going to start doing this for real. And so I kind of just jumped all in, and I said, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to give it a good chance at succeeding and give myself a chance. And I'm just going to do it. I'm going to do everything I have to do to make myself successful. And I'm just going to see where it goes. So that's kind of how I got involved in all of this. And I would say that my decision to become Diamond kind of falls along those same concepts. Like I said, I just go all in on things that I'm doing. And I heard it over and over again, get to Emerald, get to Emerald, get to Emerald. I did that. And then I was like, okay, well, what's next? What do I do next? How do I talk on that call next year? And so I just decided, I was like, oh, this is the next step, and I'm going to do it. And I didn't really know what I was doing or how to do it, but I followed the people that I had leading me, who were telling me to do what to do. And I just started doing the things. I started doing all the things. Anything that anyone ever told me, like, I do this, I'm like, how could I implement that into my business as well and make it me at the same time? And so I just started doing everything. Some things didn't work, some things did work, but I went all in, and it just did it all.
I think that's so cool. It's hard when, we do all these calls all the time. And one of the things when we did a poll that we had everybody we asked everybody to fill out the poll. I don't know if you guys saw it. For those of you who did, thank you. And thank you for being honest. And then for those of you who didn't, you should have. But it was interesting to go back and see the number of people on our team that don't take anything away from these calls and implement them. And so, that was one of the things that I said to our leaders right away. I was like, man, for all the time that we invest into these calls, how can you not find anything? How can you not find anything from a national wake-up call that you can go and implement? How can you not find anything from a team call that you can go on and implement? And I want to say, I think it's huge that, you take this stuff. Like you said, some of it's going to work, some of it isn't going to work, but at least you try. and at least you know. And then you can go and you can implement it, you can tweak it, you can make it whatever you think it needs to be in order to best fit your business. But at least you have all these different ideas that you can go and you can play with. I think that's really cool. So why don't you walk through your strategy on social media? Because I think, like, of all people, I think you're religious in showing up every single day. And you have an ability to create a narrative within your story that's like, it's sort of fitness related, and then it's life related, and then I know I keep joking around about these bees, but like, it's like the stuff that something about it makes people want to learn a little bit more about you. So what is your strategy when you think about what you're posting on social?
So I guess the first thing that I decided was that everybody keeps saying, you have to be consistent. You have to be consistent. And I decided when I was going all in that that's the one thing that I could do for sure, 100%. I can be consistent. I can put up a Facebook post, an Instagram post every single day. I can do that. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad. Some are going to be good, some are going to be bad, but I can at least be consistent, and I can at least get myself out there and have people see me. So consistency is the one thing that I made a decision that I was going to do it, and I did it. And I actually have in my planner, I'm going to try and give people things that they can actually implement, because that's what I always try to get out of these calls. So in my planner, I have a check marks, and I love lists so that I can check and mark things off my list. I have check marks in my planner that say AM post, and then workout, and then PM post. And I always make sure to get an AM post and a PM post. I don't always post my workout. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I have actually been going away from posting more workout stuff, because I want, mostly I want people to think, to come to me as a person and not just see me as a fitness person. And like all I care about is fitness, because that's one of the strategies that I've been tweaking a little bit as I've been going along here, is that in the beginning of my business, I was really, really focused on just fitness and getting myself out there and having people know, seeing my transformation. I work out all the time. And then now I've slowly been trying to transition it into how people can get to know me. And it's been a little bit scary and a little bit nerve-wracking, because you do definitely have to be a little bit more vulnerable. And that's, I would say, is one of the harder parts. But I'm transitioning now into posting more about me and my life. And so that's why I have those 3 posts, is AM post, workout, PM post, is that I don't want I don't want to just be posting about fitness all day long. Both of those AM and PM posts need to be about something other than fitness. And then if I do post about fitness, I can check mark off that workout post. So that's what I do. I use both Facebook and Instagram. I mainly post the exact same thing on both. And I know some people say, I just mark the share button on my Instagram. I create the posts in there and share it to Facebook. And to be honest, I just don't have time to create new content for both things. It hasn't seemed to affect me in a negative way. And so I'm rolling with it for right now, and we'll see where that goes. But Instagram is mostly my cold market, and Facebook is mostly my warm market. And so I don't think that I need different things on both, because it's a lot of different people on both, for me anyway. So I just post the same things on both things.
Now, one thing I noticed that you do a lot is you use your business page, or at least on Facebook, you use like PTA Fitness or something like that. Do you share the same content to your business page as you do your personal page, or do you share your personal page? What's your strategy on Facebook?
So like I said, I didn't used to be a social media huge person where I would be posting all the time every day. So posting to my personal page, it wasn't happening before. And so even if it's I don't focus on it right now a whole lot, unless it's something completely silly and nothing to do, with any of this at all, or nothing really that adds value, then I'll post it over there. But I do use my business page a lot, because really because I didn't post before, so people have really just come to expect it to come from my business page. Now I've invited all of my friends and family, everybody, to like my business page, and most of them have. So it's just kind of an expectation now that if you want to know what's going on in my life, you got to go to that page, because I really never posted things before. So
yeah, I feel like the thing I'm constantly battling, just having a real estate company, having what we're trying to do with our podcast, and whatever our business page is, that I just struggle with engagement on those pages. And I'm just blown away at your ability. Every time that I feel like I see something from your business page, like there's generally like a fair amount of people that are actually going to it and tuning into what you're posting. And so I would say whatever you're doing is working, because at least on my end, it's a constant struggle to try and get engagement, no matter how many followers that we bring into any of those business pages. So I'm still, and for all of you, if you guys have ideas, please use the chat section for this to be beneficial to people. But I'm constantly trying to like kind of take, sharing different things at different times from my business page to my personal page, taking the exact same content that I posted in my business page and sharing it to my personal page, just trying to get more eyes on the prize. And it's a juggling act for sure. So let's talk inviting. So, obviously you're talking Instagram being cold market. You've got people that you have invited to your business page, friends, family, all those are already following. Who are you generally sending your invites to, or how are you finding people to invite?
So I started out with a decently sized warm market, and it's just because I wasn't very present on social media, but I was the lurker in the background that was always like watching other people. And so I was friends with a lot of people, but not a ton. And so I started out with just kind of starting to invite those people to like my page, and then I would invite those people if they started, interacting, or if I thought that they were good, fits for my group, I would go out and invite them. But I quickly found out that my warm market ran out really quickly. So I hit a high, and then I kind of had this like slump of like, well, now what? And I think that a lot of people have that problem. And what I started doing after that is I went through a phase where I started inviting or friend requesting every single person that I could find that I even thought that I knew. So I would go through every friend that I have, I would go through their friend list. And even if it was just an acquaintance of mine, if it was a high school person that I was like, I never spoke to you once in high school, but I know we went to high school together, I friend requested that person. I friend requested people who I was like, oh, that name sounds familiar. I kind of maybe think I know you, but I don't know. So I just friend requested everybody. And so my warm market grew substantially by just me doing that. And then, you'd get a few messages back like, do I know you? And I was like, well, I think I do. We have a lot of people in common. Well, then you just started a conversation too with that person. So none of these people defriended me. So as far as I know. And so it's actually people that I've still continued conversations with now. So I would say try and grow your warm market as big as you can and make it as big as you can. And then once you've done that, start engaging with those people. Just go to that high school friend and be like, gosh, this is going to sound really stupid, but we went to high school together, right? Where are you at these days? What are you doing? And those were my conversations. Still are some of my conversations right now with people. And in the beginning, it kind of felt a little weird, not necessarily salesy, because I wasn't trying to sell them anything at the beginning. It felt weird because it wasn't me, and it wasn't me because that's not the person I was at that time. And I would say that I've grown emotionally and spiritually since that time. And I have grown in my confidence by just doing those kinds of things. And I feel much more confident now doing that. And I feel way less weird doing that now, because it truly is me being genuine, wanting to know where this person is and what they're up to these days. So that's kind of how I grew my warm market to be really big. And so as far as inviting goes, I try to look for this last group. I wrote down, I went through every single friend that I had on my friends list in Facebook, and I wrote down at least 50 names. And I set a goal for myself of 50, and that I could find 50 people out of there that I could at least invite from my warm market. And so I found those people, I invited them, I got out of my head, I just did it. And I felt, scared at first, but it is actually okay for the most part. And so I invited those people for my warm market. And I would say that all of the people that I signed up as coaches or for challenge groups so far in the past couple months have all come from my warm market. And in the cold market, I've just started kind of growing. I do use social, I believe it's called, to try and grow that a little bit. It's been really good for me because I have it kind of tweaked to where I've had it adding a lot of people that are really like me. And so I've been really confident in the people that I've been getting. And so I did take kind of Bridget and Aaron's idea of just inviting everybody. I just started inviting all the people from my cold market, and I had my numbers up there. I think I invited like 150 people from like cold invites from this just by doing that alone, and none of them said yes. So it truly is making connections with people that are gonna create the like actual results for you. But I have found that once I started inviting those people, and even if they said no, or it said, oh, so I'm going to pass this time, or this and this is going on, I'm adding them to my tracker sheet that I have, that I've spoken to these people, that they responded to me back. And those are the people that I'm going back in now and saying, and now I'm commenting on their stuff. I'm liking their stuff. I'm really trying to genuinely create connection with these people so that I can get them to come back and kind of circle back around. And now that they trust me, they're going to hopefully trust me enough to do this with me.
So a couple of things to make sure I'm highlighting everything. So Facebook still works. I mean, that's really the reality is like you're going old school. I mean, how old are we that we're saying like we're kicking it old school on Facebook now? Like this is getting bad, guys. Pretty soon our kids aren't even going to know what we're talking about when we say Facebook. So I mean, it still works, and you have the ability to create networks and connections, and people can see mutual friends and all that kind of stuff. That's kind of the beauty of Facebook, I guess, in some sense. So there's ways for people to feel like they still know you. I love that. Getting out of your head and sending those, I would almost argue, I don't know for the rest of you, but sending those like warm market invites are sometimes harder than sending a cold market, because cold market, and there's a question, can you explain what cold market is? Cold market, let's just say, are people you don't really know or distant connections. Warm market being people you know, friends, family, in its most simplistic form. So sometimes it's tougher to invite those people, and I love that you kind of get out of your way, send those messages, and those people, the thing that Amber and I have always said is just those people in that warm market have a better idea of who you are. They grew up, maybe they have some impression of you or your family, or maybe an additional level of trust, having just spent more time with you than a cold market. Last thing that I just wanted to make sure I hit on, and I'm sure Bridget and Aaron would be the first to tell you that, sending the 150 messages this week is only going to continue to be a compound effect, and it's kind of a mass marketing blast that you're not expecting that you're going to send 150 messages and get 50 people to buy today, but that level of action and repetition and getting some engagement and following up over time is just designed to produce probably a more hyperactive level of success, just given the mass action. So the fact that you're doing the work and you're sending those messages, I think is what I've been trying to make sure I distribute to anybody who does, whether you guys do PACE or we do one-on-one calls, or people who message me as far as placement's concerned. I'm always going back, like, it's, if nothing else, they've found a great rhythm and mindset. And that's what it is. If you can get in a mindset with reaching out to your warm market, if you can get in a good mindset with reaching out to your cold market, you can do a lot of things with this business, because there's probably 360,000 coaches out there that can't. Just being honest. So let's talk about the test group opportunity, because I think what you did last week was pretty cool, and you've got all these people that are a part of our Life Shift program. So when you're talking to people, how are you presenting the test group opportunity?
So I was really, and still am really excited about this group. I have personally never done Shift Shop on my own as a whole program, and I was really excited to do it. And I was really excited. I've been working really hard on getting some, like, my personal cardio endurance up, and so I was really excited to continue this on, because I knew that it was going to just go help me in my overall goals. So I found that it was easy for me to invite people to this group because I was so excited about it. And the approach that I took is my invite went out to, again, all of those warm market people and then the cold market people. I said, listen, like, this is going to be unlike anything else. We don't do this very often. This is our whole team. This is going to be super special. If you have not experienced a group with a ton of people doing the exact same thing at the exact same time, then you are in for a treat, because this is not something we do all the time. And so I really tried to make it unique and kind of the limited time opportunity for people. And I really tried to create that FOMO. And I have told so many people this, and this goes for me too, is that fear of missing out for me is huge. I do not want to miss out on anything, especially if it's going to be good. And especially if somebody is that excited about it, then I want in on that too. So I really tried to create that kind of concept when I was sending out my invites. I started out by sending out this kind of long email where I explained everything. I put a couple of the Shift Shop videos in there. I put the tool-in video in there because I thought, well, let's connect with some people. It's, kind of special. And I really liked that video, but I just wasn't kind of getting the return back from that email that I was hoping for. So then I went and I used your idea, Jake and Amber. I created a video of myself. Exactly what you did too is I just talked about the program. I shared how excited I was about it, how I personally was going to need an accountability buddy for this one. And I showed them the products, and I just kind of said, I gave that, the whole picture, and then they could see me and my excitement for it. And I really think that I got a lot of return back from that video. I had people tell me, wow, like, thanks for making that video. I really, great job on it. Like, that, I'm going to pass this time, but the video was really good. So I got a lot of good feedback from that. So that's kind of how I feel like I got people engaged in presenting, how I presented the test group opportunity to them. The other thing that I kind of did was I just kind of set the expectation, like, this is a test group. This is for people who want to go all in. This is for people who want to go outside their comfort zones, who are going to commit to doing this. So I just made sure to set expectations for those people so that so that I could kind of not weed out the people who were not going to be committed, but kind of weed those people out. Because I think this is a really special challenge group for us, and it's not like anything we do. We only do it maybe once a quarter, if that, or 4 times a year, maybe, if that, as a team. So I wanted people that were really going to be into it too. So that's kind of how I presented it to people.
I love that you use video, because I know for Amber and I, we saw a good return on that. I know we have other coaches that are on this call that have started using videos and have seen great returns on it as well. So for those of you, if you guys take nothing else away from the call, when you guys are getting ready for Transform 20, or, any of these other programs, or maybe you make your own, pick your own November, maybe you pick your own December, not a bad idea to create some sort of video that can showcase just your excitement for the program, why you're excited about it, and then give some of those additional details. Keep it short. I would say somewhere in that like 5 to 7 minute range is pretty comfortable for people. You get to 10, 15 minutes and Amber will tell you I get lost. Like you've lost me at the 5 minute mark. So 5 minutes, I think, is kind of where the sweet spot is. Practice, do it a couple of times. I want to go into, how do you explain, because one thing I was asked, I was like, man, where are all these coaches coming from last week? And you're like, well, I signed them all up as coaches. I mean, if they wanted to be in the test group, they had to be coaches. So could you kind of talk through that conversation that you're having with them? Why is it important for them, as you're explaining it to them, to sign up as a preferred customer discount coach? And if it's as simple as like, look, you need to be a discount coach or preferred customer or coach to be in the test group, then that's fine. What is that conversation like when you're telling them how to sign up?
For some people, I did do that. I definitely used Jake, you, and Amber as a scapegoat for some people. Mostly, I used that for the people who were my challengers that I converted over to coaches, because those are the people that I have been just dragging along. Like, why are you spending so much money? Please stop doing this and just become the preferred customer. And for some unknown reason, they just drug their feet and did not want to become the discount coach. And so for those people, I said, you know what, if you want to be part of this group, this amazing group that's going to be so great, you got to be a discount coach. That's their requirement. It's not our group. I did say that to a couple people. For some people, like I said before, I just set it as an expectation. And I said, this is how we're going to sign you up. This is the coach test group. We're requiring everybody to do it. And I just made it an expectation that this is going to be what's best for you. You get the discount. You get all the benefits of being, a coach, but you don't have to do any of the coaching stuff. And I said, I think the one thing that I did tell people and that they really enjoyed was that I gave them an out. And I said, listen, if you don't like it after this first month, there is zero obligation for you to keep going. You can cancel it at any time. There is no obligation for you to continue getting your products. There's no obligation for you to continue these groups. You can call customer service and cancel your coach membership or cancel the whole darn thing if you want at any time. And so I think that really set a lot of people's minds at ease, that they were like, oh, okay. I know it does me when I sign up for things like this. I'm like, I don't want to sign up for something that's going to be super, a hassle to have to like get rid of. And I do tell people that our customer service from Beachbody is amazing. And I truly believe that, because anytime that I have called customer service before, they have been really good for me. And if they send me the wrong thing or my order gets messed up, they're sending me that thing for free. If I want to cancel or push off an order or do anything, it's just like, okay, not a problem. No questions asked. And that's it. Sometimes they'll try and upsell you, but all I say is no. And then that's it. But that's their job too. So I do tell people that we have great customer service and I'm not going to hassle you. So if you want out, that's your thing. It's not for everybody. If you don't like it, I'm hoping that you're going to love it and continue on with us, but you don't have to. There's no obligation.
I totally agree on the note of giving people guarantees. For those of you who don't know my background, I worked in medical device sales for about 10 years. And that was always something that I would do to pull through contracts in the hospital all the time. And we weren't supposed to like write up anything, and we weren't supposed to like give any people guarantees, but I'd always like create like a little spreadsheet for them that would say like, if you aren't satisfied within 30 days of receipt, we will gladly return these at full price. And it always you just like learn that that's what people want. They just want to know that there's going to be something on the back end if they're not satisfied. And for this, I'm talking about like $30, $40, $50,000 purchases. This is $180 or whatever it is, but people still get anxious when they're pulling that credit card out, especially if you've got a spouse who might not already be supportive of the idea, and or maybe they have a gym membership or money's just tight. Now you're pulling out the pocketbook, and it's good to know, and you guys can always lean on that. You can I've used the analogy when I was little. My dad would always say, if you were ever in a situation that you didn't want to be, you can always lean on me, and say that you have to go home because your dad told you. I will always be the bad guy. So if you guys ever need a bad guy, I am always more than willing to be the reason that somebody needs to sign up as a coach to be in one of these test groups. That's fine with me. That's the one, maybe the one thing I can help you with. And then when it comes to guarantees, make sure that you guys understand. And if you haven't, go in and read the FAQ on customer service and the money back guarantees, bottom of the bag guarantees, so that you can articulate that with customers, because that is huge. If people are on the fence with whether or not they want to do it or not, you can always lean on a guarantee, because they always have the ability to send these products back if they aren't satisfied with them. So I think that's good. How about one of the questions I had? What if they don't want to sign up as a coach? So let's say you go to that and you go, hey, you got to do this. You got to be in the challenge group. What do you say if they say no?
So for me, in our group, that the way we ran it, we didn't require people to be discount coaches to be a part of what we have a VIP group, which is our kind of like this Life Shift group. It's a special group. It's on the side. And that we have just for the people who kind of want to go all in for that month or however long we have it. We haven't been requiring people to be discount coaches for that. And what was required, is required, is to at least sign up with a challenge pack and to have an active order of product. And that was kind of a difficult decision for us, because we had a lot of kind of lurkers in the background who weren't doing that. And then as a group, I don't know if people know this, but it's Emily and Katie and I who kind of have grouped together, and we do our groups together. And we just kind of decided that this is going to be an expectation. If you want the true value, it's going to be in the VIP group. And that's how we kind of decided to run our groups. We also have what we call our Team Iron Beauty community group on the side. And that group is, we post, couple times a week in that page, and we go live a few times. We use it kind of as our funnel to get people into our VIP group. We give some value in there, but it is not the value that you get in or the accountability or the motivation that you get in the VIP group. And so then if people don't want to sign up as a discount coach for this specific group, this test group that we had, we said, all right, well, that's totally cool. You can go, you're always welcome to be in the community group. You're always going to be in that. You have a lifetime membership in that now that you're already in it. And you can be in there. You can post your sweaty selfies. You can do whatever you want. It's kind of a free-for-all in that group. But it just doesn't quite have the value. So we've given people somewhere to be. And so they're not just off in La La Land all on their own. But we also have, a separate group where it's just a little more added value in it as well. And so right now, this month, we're using the test group as our VIP group that we usually run. And so it's been nice because people either had the option to be the discount coach and be in the group, or they had if you didn't want to do that, you could just be in the community group.
Do you find that conversion then from somebody who is just, they are just purchasing challenge packs, do you find that conversion from just an active customer to a discount coach or a preferred customer or potentially working coach, do you find that to be a difficult conversation? Or do you feel like when you have those conversations, for anybody that might be listening on this call or listening back, do you feel like that was an easy transition and the value was enough that they were like, oh, okay, well, whatever, I'll sign up for this to do Life Shift for the month of November?
I do. I think it was easy for me because these people that I've signed up to converted from challengers to coaches really have been active participants in our VIP groups. And so I think one of the most important things to get people to convert over is you got to run good challenge groups. You absolutely have to run great challenge groups. And I feel like we have pretty good challenge groups. We have a lot of interaction. We have people posting really vulnerable stuff in our challenge groups. And so these people who I've converted, I created the FOMO there. I said, we're not doing a VIP group. If you want that accountability, if you want that motivation, you got to do this. This is the requirement this time. So, it was worth it for them enough to convert over to the discount coach option.
Cool. So now we've got Life Shift running. This kicked off today for everybody that's in it. Awesome. Hey, as a reminder, we love doing these, but it is your responsibility to make sure that you are engaging, finding your customers, the coaches, anybody that you have in there, loving on people. That is your responsibility. We'll create the content, the structure, all that kind of stuff. We'll all be posting in there. Please help us out. That's the only thing we ever ask in those of you who've been with us for a bit now, you know how that's like the only thing that we ask. Because I think it's going to be really fun. I think it's going to be a powerful couple of weeks for people. What are you doing on top of like the, obviously the group's running? How do you keep track of those customers? Because now we're, say you part 10, 12, however many people in Life Shift. What do you do to continue to like add some accountability, value to them, check in on them? What's that look like for you?
So for our group and our team, Emily, Katie, and we created a separate messenger thread, just a special one for those people who are in the Life Shift program, for just announcements that we want to make sure that people are engaging, to remind them to do, post in the group and engage and whatnot. So they feel like they have a place to go that isn't the huge group if it's the big group is overwhelming. But then we also are really pushing for them to interact in the big group post or in that thread. And so what I'm also doing is I'm still doing my one-on-one coaching with my challengers during this time, and I'm doing it by using Google Forms. And I just transitioned to using Google Forms for most of my stuff, as far as I have all my challengers set beginning goals, and I do a weekly goal for them, a smaller weekly goal for them every week within a challenge group. And so I have them fill out a Google form for their beginning or overall goals. And then I check in with them. And on that overall goal sheet or form, I have one of the questions is, are you okay with weekly check-ins, or would you like me to check in with you more? And they get to tell me what they need. And so if they tell me weekly check-ins are okay, that's great. If they tell me they need more, I mark that person and I make sure that I'm following up with that person to give them that one-on-one coaching that they need. But then if they say weekly check-ins are enough, I'm still checking in with them more than that, because usually people do need a little bit more, at least in the beginning of the challenge group. So I ask them what they want and I try and give them that. So we do that. I really try and stay engaged with people, and I try to make it not just, okay, what's your goal? Okay, that's great, good goal. I try and make it very personal for people, and I tell them what my goals are as well, and I tell them that I need them to help me stay accountable as well. And so some of my challengers, we have separate little things going on where I'm texting them a screenshot of my Beachbody nutrition app, and they're, so we're doing that because they need more help with nutrition. Some people I have said, hey, listen, I love your goal of, you're getting your water in and you're setting your timer on your watch. I'm going to do that same thing with you. So I really try and make it personal and not just them setting goals and did you reach it, yes or no?
I think the front end, I don't know how many of you guys do this. I think that's a pretty brilliant idea, though, to check in with your challengers and see on the front end what they need from you. Because I know Amber shared this somewhere recently, but we did a survey of people that were going through our challenge group to see just like feedback. What do they think? Do they like how we're using the My Challenge Tracker app? Do you wish we were using Facebook? And however many people, there's like 95 people or something like that responded to the survey. Only 16 of them said that they liked using the My Challenge Tracker app, but that's how our entire challenge group was being run, and we couldn't figure out why there wasn't a whole lot of engagement. But we did that at the end of it, after the challenge group had already been wrapping up. People are saying like, man, I kind of wish we were on Facebook. But had we asked on the front end, we could have avoided a month's worth of frustration that nobody was engaging. So I like the idea of actually checking in on people on the front end and seeing what they need. Because again, you're a business owner, and everybody's going to have different goals and different ideas in this business. But if, one of the things we like to say is that we do this for the people. And if we truly are doing it for the people, especially when you're on kind of that elementary scale early on, where you have maybe 2, 3, 4 customers that are going through a challenge group with you, and you don't have to worry about, checking in on 150 people. You can afford to give that like extra touch to people and make sure that they are getting a really good experience going through your challenge group. Because guys, I keep saying this to people that I'm doing getting started right calls with, and I'm like, if we can just get 3 people in the doors each and every month for 6 months, good odds that you could be a diamond coach in 6 months. It's just basic math. But if we're bringing in 3 people a month doing a crap job running a challenge group, 6 months later, we're going to be sitting there with a bunch of inactives because we weren't actually meeting the customers where they're at. So I really like the idea of doing something on the front end where we have an idea of what people need so we can, prioritize running great challenge groups. So last question that I have, and then I'll open it up for everybody else. We got Transform 20 coming. This is going to be the question we're going to be talking about here over the next couple of weeks every time we bring somebody on. But, what are some things, strategies that you're kind of thinking about right now so that you can be selling challenge packs in December and January to Transform 20?
Yeah, so this is a super exciting, obviously, program that's coming out too. I'm super stoked for it, and hopefully that excitement can, carry over into my inviting people as well. But some of the things that I'm doing right now is, since we're kind of, I like to call this kind of a lull, where I'm not like actively like pushing people, like, you got to get in this challenge group, we're almost going to start. And then the challenge group starts, and I would always find myself like, well, now what do I do? Who do I talk to? What do I, And so I'm trying to really reach out to people, and the people that I'm inviting right now, and the way that I'm going about it is that I'm talking to them more about our team and our groups rather than programs itself. And so I'm using that right now. And that's kind of the change that I've made. Instead of talking to people about these super amazing programs, which they are, I do talk about that a lot, but I'm also saying that, like, while these programs are really, really awesome, it is the community and it is the team that you really want. That is where the value comes from. We're working out and we're eating right, but you will not gain that sense of belonging and that sense of, that accountability and that motivation without being on a team. Anybody can do these programs. These programs are great. So that's kind of what I've been focusing on right now, since I would say we're in that little bit of a lull. But for Transform 20 specifically, we are actually, Emily, Katie, and I, we are getting together, and we are making a team video, and I'm super excited about this. And this video is, it's not actually going to be about Transform 20. It's more going to be about what our team is and what we stand for, because we have found that the video has been such a good resulting for us. And so we're going to do that about our team. And then we're going to each separately go off and do our own separate Transform 20 videos. And that way, when we're inviting, we can send out both of these videos. We have our team video that says, this is Emily, Katie, and I. We're going to be your coaches. This is going to be the group you're in. This is what it's about. This is what we stand for. These are our, goals and motivations for everybody in the group. And then you get the video, the very short video that is going to talk about Transform 20 and what the program is and what the products are and everything like that. So I plan on sending out both of those videos to the people that I'm inviting. Not sure. Some people it may end up being you send both the videos out at the same time. Some people it might be, here's our team video, and then here's our Transform 20, here's my Transform 20 video, because this is coming out and this is exciting. So obviously I'm going to be using, it's only 20 minutes. This is a program that anybody can do. And my plan is to leave no stone unturned. I want to be, anybody can do this program, and it is coming out in January. This is the prime time. It's Shaun T. It's 20 minutes. Anybody can do this. And that means you should not exclude anybody from inviting. And I say that because I used to, when I would pick people, and I kind of still do sometimes, when I would pick people from my warm market to invite, those 50 people, I tend to cherry pick them. And it's people that I think are going to be good, but it's not necessarily the people that I'm even signing up. I always try to push myself out of my comfort zone a little bit and get new people that I'm inviting every time I'm doing it. But for Transform 20, I'm going all in, and I may end up inviting every single person on my warm market, because you just never know. You never know who is going to be interested or who wants it. And those scary people that you have, because we all have the list of scary people to invite, like, get out of your head and just do it. I'm going to do it. You can do it too.
And I love that. And I've talked about this a couple of times, guys, like, as I'm a numbers person. So coming into this business, I've gone through all of our financial progressions and kind of just looked at where we've had kind of our gains. And it's always in these points where we've got new programs that are launching. And it's really goofy, but you can see it. You can see that 80-day obsession comes and our income spikes, and then it kind of settles here. I'm going to go a little bit lower. I'm going to run out of screen. And then you've got, Lift 4 launches, and then it kind of settles right here. And now, Transform 20, because I love Chris Downing, but Chris Downing's program didn't do this for me. But with Transform 20, I'm kind of expecting the same thing, but it's that confidence that you just had, Beth, where it, like, you have to, anybody can do it. And like that energy is what's going to be contagious for somebody to bet on themselves starting in January. But, all that groundwork starts now. And I love that you guys are going to have a video of what it looks like to have your team of coaches and trainers and people that are motivating you and showing up. That's such a huge component of this that is bigger than a workout, because these are going to be the people that you're working out with virtually every day. And I think that's a really good idea. And then I love that, like, you're already starting to think, like, I'm going to have a Transform 20 video. I need to talk to Amber about this, but we want to give you guys some sort of behind the scenes page that you guys can be going in and taking content and repurposing it, because that's the one thing that I would say that, after Lift 4, there was kind of this confidence that everybody had been through the program, and now I feel like I can recruit. But I think that even just knowing some of those basics of what the program is and being able to speak about the program the same way now, like, for those of you who have gone through some of these Beachbody test groups with 80-day obsession and Lift 4, all those, you guys have an idea of what these test groups really are. You guys have an idea what these programs are, who these trainers are. That's what we need to be kind of speaking to early on here. But I think we got to keep the train rolling right now and give people some opportunity to experience Shaun T a little bit. In the meantime, we're working on those ideas. Any questions for Beth? I mean, the gal signed up about a bazillion people last week, so that's a good question. How often do you post in the community group?
We use the community group kind of in a way to also get our newer coaches comfortable with posting. So we actually have them, we assign them or ask them how involved they want to be, and we have them posting in that group as well. So it's Emily, Katie, and I, and we post once a day, I think we have 3 or 4 other coaches that post, and so each person is assigned a day. It's just we add some value in there. It can be a recipe, it can be whatever you're making, it can be take back the kitchen or whatever, or your workout or something with a little bit of added value, but not a ton. And so we're using it. We post about once a day in there, and then we use it to get our newer coaches a little more comfortable too with posting, so that they eventually can hopefully start to run their own challenge groups and move on as well. So we're using it. It's kind of a teaching tool too.
Do you run your all groups co-ed, men and women?
I would love to get some guys in our groups, but unfortunately we don't have a lot of guys in our group. I think Donnie, Emily's husband, is the only one that I've ever seen have a picture in our group. And I would love for more guys to be involved. In fact, I'm actually drawn to some of these programs like Shift Shop. I invited, I think, a few more guys than I even did ladies, because I just feel like that's the pull where, I could get a lot of people. And I had some interested, but guys just don't seem to want to commit as much. So I would love to run them co-ed, and I don't have a problem with that at all, but we just can't get them in.
Guys, we're an interesting breed. Can't make it up. I was working out today, and I watched a guy literally go over to my phone probably 5 or 6 times while in between his sets. And then he would like look at my phone, and then he would go back, and then he would stand. I don't even know what he was doing. Like it was like an assisted chest press thing, but he wasn't doing the assisted chest press. He was like doing he was doing something, I think tricep related, but then it was also kind of with like a calf raise. And then he would go back and look at my phone again. I was like, come on, brother, just say you want to know. Like, is it so hard? And I'm telling you guys, like, I love doing shift shop in the gym. It's like the greatest program ever to do in the gym. But I feel like that happens all the time. But we are so stubborn. We're just such stubborn people. I don't know why we can't ask for help, but whatever. And I have another story that I have another guy who is so excited. He's not ready to commit. But I have to head back up to Minneapolis this week, and he needs to grab coffee with me to learn more about the program. And I was like, really? You're just sign up. Why do I have to get a cup of coffee with you? The things I do for this team. Anyways, oh my gosh, Emily, that is funny. I want to see you use Sean's step. I might just use the steps of our house and really get crazy with it. Anything else? Enough about me and my issues with recruiting men. Nate Fisher is probably over there being like, "Yep, it's quite the experience." Anything else for Beth tonight, guys?
So can I just say one more thing?
Please.
One big point that I wanted to make is that I want to say that you should never, ever, ever miss out on any opportunity that is given to you. And I say this because I didn't actually want to do the life shift group because I didn't want to push my people out of their comfort zone and make them become discount coaches. I thought at the beginning of this, I thought, I'm going to lose people. People are going to leave because they don't want to do this. They've told me before they don't want to do this. And I was pretty set in my mind that I did not want us to have people commit to this. And Emily really pushed me out of that, out of my comfort zone. And so she's like, let's just do it. And finally we decided to just go all in and do it. And and that's kind of where it went. I said, you know what, whatever happens, happens. So I want to say to everybody is that don't leave any opportunity alone because it could be for you. It could be not for you. Like to be mindset for me, it kind of flopped for me. So, but I still did it and I still learned about it and I still went through it myself just so that I could have that knowledge of doing it. But I didn't have a lot of success with it. But these programs, like I didn't think I was going to have success with this life shift group either. And it has blown me out of the water because of how much more confident that I've become in inviting people. And I think that I might just make an expectation that people are signing up as discount coaches all the time now. That's just what I'm going to lead with. I'm going to say, you know what, we're going to sign you up as a discount coach. If you don't want to do it after the first month, feel free to cancel. You could still be in our groups because if you have an active order, but so I'm going to put it back on them. I'm going to lead with the expectation and then put it back on them. Same thing with like the opportunity. Like, I don't know. So a lot of you guys were in that diamond test group or push group with us. And I wasn't going to do that one either. I thought for sure, I was like, there is no way that I'm going to get anywhere near to my goal that I wanted to get. And I ended up being like one of the biggest successes for me that I've had in a long time too. So do not think that anything is above you. And if it's really not your jam, try and find some way to get really excited about it and to make it for you. But just don't miss out because any opportunity could be your opportunity to just become huge and do big things for yourself because everything, it's all given to us. It's all just kind of handed to us. And if you don't do it, then you can't really say whether or not it's going to work. If it doesn't work next time, you can change it. You can do something different. Now you've learned from that. But if you don't know, if you don't try, then you won't know. So that's kind of my big thing is that just don't don't miss any opportunity.
Amen. Amen. I feel like you embody that. We did I think it was the call with Josh Coates, and your screen was blank. And this is how I function. For anybody who was in that push group, I took a screenshot of that to see who had prioritized making that call. And I told Amber that these are the coaches on our team that we need to be pouring into on a regular basis to make sure that they feel supported, because they are finding a way to be on this call. Amidst everything that they've got, every last thing that's going on, they are making sure that it's a priority to be on that call. Same thing with Firestarter calls. It's the same way that I look at it. I don't think that I need to prioritize time when other people aren't prioritizing it in theirs. That's just how I'm wired. And your screen was muted, and I guarantee Beth is probably at work right now with her screen muted and headphones in her ear, making sure she doesn't miss it. And that's what I just, and maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like you're somebody who shows up for everything. I think you were on that call with Josh Coates. We did just a placement call, and then you were on the Firestarter call, and then you were on the PACE call, and that's just, those are the people that I'm always going to be willing to run through walls for. And fortunately, I'm really excited because I feel like we just continue to have more and more of those rising up on this team, and I'm so happy that you got an opportunity just to sit in the limelight tonight, Beth, because I think you're doing something really great in this business. I'm so proud of you. I'm so grateful to have you on this team, and I'm just so excited to see where your business goes next year.
Thank you. Again, I'm super humbled to do this, and I am super humbled to even be sharing these things, and I hope they help other people, because this is how I learned how to do all my stuff, is from learning from other people, just like on these calls. So if anything I can say helps another person, I hope it does.
You are awesome. All right, guys, have a great rest of your Monday night, and we'll see you guys in the morning paper tomorrow.